Hello everybody, and welcome to another Retro Kalamazoo Airport update. We are back in the year of 2005. We have seen plenty of airport updates at around this time, but today will be another special update as we have pretty much a complete collection here for the 2005 Retro Kazoo airport updates. I'm only missing really one plane that has actually been made in 1/400 scale, and that is the Northwest Avro RJ85 or the BAE 146. But that is pretty much it for the models that I'm missing for this time frame. So this is going to be a pretty realistic update. Not realistic as in I have all the aircraft all set up at the exact same time, but realistic in the terms of I have all the aircraft that flew to Kalamazoo at this time frame all in one airport update. So it may not look super realistic as I have every single model in the update. We have 5 models in this one, but that's just kind of how we're doing it here. So we'll begin with the United Express CRJ 200 right here, operated by Air Wisconsin. He also operated on the SkyWest on this route. This one came in from Chicago O'Hare, and this one will be doing the turn heading back out there. This one has been a staple in these Retro Kalamazoo airport updates. Always seeing a United CRJ 200 here, normally in this Battleship Gray livery, almost in this Battleship Gray livery, as I don't have the Blue Tulip livery. But strong force here for this one. Always making returns in these airport updates, so I expect to see this one in updates to come. We'll move over here. We have this American Eagle E-145 in the old livery. As you can see, it's getting pushed back. This one will be making the flight out to Chicago O'Hare as well. This one is about to take off out there. So American Eagle did the same thing, and they're still doing the same thing today, operating the flights to Chicago O'Hare, which is just great to see for them. Staple here at Kalamazoo, been doing this for a while, and especially on the E-145. Unfortunately, the E-145s will be replaced by the CRJ 200s in the current day in a few months, but they have been operating this route for a while on the E-145, and great to see them here once again in Retro Kalamazoo. Now, one of my favorite models here for Retro Kalamazoo is the Northwest DC-9. This is the DC-930. As you can see, this one is in the older bowling shoe livery. Very nice shot right there. So these did the turn from Detroit. The DC-9 is only operated on the Detroit route, not from MSP. But still great to use them here for Detroit nonetheless. And we will see the MSP flight later. You can probably already see it in the background there. But definitely my favorite aircraft here, probably. Just a great model by JetX, and just an awesome model to have in general. So really cool to see there. Glad that I was able to include this in here. This one was for a while the biggest regularly scheduled service to Kalamazoo, at least in terms of aircraft size. There was some time, like in the early 2010s, where they did fly 737s on direct air to here. And of course now Avello flies on the 737s, so there is a little bit of aircraft upgrade there, but of course the DC-9 was staple here at Kalamazoo for a while, and I'm really glad to incorporate that here with this Northwest DC-9 operating to Detroit. And finally, we have our 2 other CRJ 200s. Beginning with the Delta connection, CRJ 200, operated by Comair. This one came in from Cincinnati, and so will be on the turn, as that's what Delta operated when their flights operated by Comair here on the CRJ 200, just like this one right here. So absolutely gorgeous model here. One of my newer ones, making its second appearance in a retro update, although I have used it numerous times in actual MSP updates of the current day, just because I needed extra CRJ 200s, and I have this one lying around. So you've probably seen this one in those, but of course Comair no longer exists, but they did fly this route to Cincinnati. Finally, here we have the Northwest Airlink CRJ 200. This one operated by Pinnacle Airlines, and this one will be making the service out to Minneapolis-St. Paul, as that is where Pinnacle Airlines operated with Northwest Airlink out to Minneapolis-St. Paul on the CRJ 200. But all the other aircraft, the BAE 146 and the Saab 340 DC-9, all went to Detroit, but it was only the CRJ 200 or 440 that went to Minneapolis-St. Paul. Another gorgeous model right here. This one and the Northwest GC9 are pretty much tied for my favorite model to include in these updates. They're both super awesome. And by the way, I said that this Delta Connection was a CRJ 200, but in actuality, the model is a CRJ 100, but they're practically the same plane, so it doesn't really matter. But well, we can go with either of them. It can either be a CRJ 200 or a CRJ 100. So yeah, that'll do it for this retro Kalamazoo Airport update. Hope you enjoyed it. The retro Kazoo updates, even though they are semi-frequent, I always love to do them. I'm trying to work on doing them for other airports, but really for now I can only do them for Kalamazoo and Madison, maybe Fresno as well. I've done like 1 or 2 retro Fresno updates, and I plan on doing more at some point in the future, but for now, pretty much just retro Kalamazoo, retro Madison is all that we're going to be doing here for the time being, but hopefully that will expand going into the future as I collect more retro models. But retro Kalamazoo was the big one to get down, and I have pretty much collected everything to do for this one. So, and of course we have our semi-new ground foils here that I first showed in the last retro Kalamazoo update. Not the best ever, but it's really hard to find anything on the old terminal and what the old gate markings looked like. So this is as close as I could get to what that was. So unfortunately, that's just kind of what we have to live with for now. It is hard to find photos on any source. You know, I tried the Wayback Machine and all of that, and the thing that worked best for me was Flickr. So it's unfortunately just how it has to be. Probably not the most realistic, but it looks okay. It's probably better to just have this over the modern day Kalamazoo update or airport, because that's just not realistic for the time frame. So yeah, that'll do it for this retro Kalamazoo airport update. Thank you all for checking it out. Always fun to do these. Stay tuned for more retro updates and current day updates of Kalamazoo, of course. I know the last current day one went out yesterday, so you can check that out if you'd like. But I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.